so today we are talking about Tocqueville's values and how they are still relating to current day in America after so many years that he actually made these a long time ago. So the first one is liberty, and liberty is the personal freedom that each of us has as Americans in the U.S. And these freedoms cannot be taken away from us unless they interfere with someone else's, and then our liberty gets taken away. One example is like driving. You can drive and you have the right to drive at a certain age, but once you interfere with someone else's, then that might get taken away from you. Another one is like throwing a party or something. You have the right to throw a party, but if that interferes with someone else's, then you don't have that right anymore. So my current day example with liberty is when the United States National Park Services, they made a video that promoted Islam. And this is because after 9/11, everyone looked at Islam as like a bad religion, and they looked at them all as these terrorists that they really weren't. We just kind of bashed them and were super rude to them, and we just have to realize that they're U.S. citizens just like we are, and they have the same rights as we do until they get taken away just like ours do. The next example is egalitarianism. And this is the belief in human equality. And in the United States, this is more of equal rights more than equal opportunity, because we all have the equal rights, and with those rights, we make opportunities for ourselves, but we have to open our own doors. They're not just there for us. One little example is a multiracial presidents that we have. So you both have the equal rights to get there, you just have to make way with yourself to get there. This is just kind of a picture showing how like we're even, but what you do with your life is what makes you uneven. The egalitarianism example that I used for our current U.S. society is actually a non-example, but in a way this is also an example. I used applying for college because we all have the right to apply wherever we want, and we all have the right to do what we want with our applications and send them off to the colleges that we want to go to. But sometimes these are interfered with almost by things like race and stuff like that, where we might have someone that's more right for that position at a college, but a minority might get accepted over that person just due to the fact that they need more of that race at their school, or it's a better learning environment with the different races and stuff. And so there's many debates out there about how applying for college and if it's equal. The next value is individualism, and this is when we see our society as individuals rather than as a whole. And it's a society that's very self-dependent and self-reliant rather than relying on other people all the time and what they want. We rely on what we want. So this is just a cute little picture about how like the group is all a whole, but there's that one person that stands out. So it's just kind of saying that like you have the right to stand out. It's not just like you don't have to be one of the group, you know, you can be your own person. This is just kind of another picture. This isn't as much about it, but it's just kind of like how he's singled out and how he's different than them, and so sometimes people don't accept it also, and so that's not always great. So my current example for individualism is about promoting gun control, and so these people got together and they started this committee about how to promote gun control and what regulations they should have on it. And it was a group setting, and they all came together and they couldn't think of anything. It was so hard for them, and they just couldn't come up with ideas. No one agreed on anything. So they decided that they would split up and do individual works and see if they could come up with stuff. And they found that it was really, really easy. So a little bit later, they all came together, and there was so many ideas out there on the table. And it just shows how, as individuals, we work together, or we work so much easier as individuals, and then we can come together with so many more ideas and options. The next one is populism. And populism is when there is an executive representative that's representing the common people. So it's like kind of used so that we have an equal representation instead of the common people just kind of getting outweighed by all the wealthy people and the people in like higher power and stuff. So they have more of an equal representation in like politics and such. And so they just have like more contributions to how stuff works. Yeah, this is just like the common person, you know, everyone's equal. And then there's like the wealthy people on top, then there's like a middle class, and then there's the common people, and that's what that's representing, or trying to represent. My example for populism is the healthcare reform, and this is actually a non-example as well, just due to the fact that they are trying to make it easier for people to get healthcare insurance and stuff, but at the same time, it's making it more people go in debt with stuff where you have to carry healthcare insurance now by like the United States law, and if not, you get penalized. So people that in the past haven't had healthcare, they're not going to get penalized if they don't get it by January 1st or in next year's before taxes, and they have to pay an extra tax now. So we're supposed to be like representing the common man, and the common man might have insurance, but they might not, so they might get even more penalized by that. The next one is laissez-faire, and this is when our government is hands off the economy, and we are more like issued to our personal decisions rather than making decisions that we have to make and that we are required to make by the government. We have our rights to do what we want with our business. So yeah, just hands off our economy. And there's all kinds of like protests going on about this also. Everywhere just kind of saying how we've just become a non-laissez-faire like society almost, but then again we're laissez-faire. It's very controversial. So my laissez-faire is actually a non-example. This is the Dodd-Frank law that was promoted in 2010, and they wanted to prevent another financial crisis, but at the same time they came up with a book of 848 pages of rules and regulations that they had on businesses, and it was just crazy, and nobody really read it. There was a very select few people that read it, and it was just too much. It was against the whole idea of laissez-faire, and there's still to this day only a select few of the people that even read the whole thing, just because there was too many rules and regulations, and it was just against what we were about. So I picked for America's #1 value, I picked technology, because I feel like in America that is really what we were based off. Just like this smart board, you know, it's all about technology and how we use it. We make inventions daily that help our lives and just improve it just a little bit more, but every little bit adds together. And these are used every day. We all have a cell phone, we all have a TV, a computer, whatever it is. So this is just kind of saying how like our world is just so run by technology now. So my example #1 is the release of the new iPhone 5s. There's the 5S and the 5C, and they were expecting to sell around 5 to 7 million in the first weekend. They ended up selling 9 million just in America. So this is just kind of explaining how, as Americans, we always want the new thing. We always want the new edition. We always want like the best thing. You know, whatever's the new thing, we have to have it. And it's just kind of showing how we are like so caught up in everything that's like around us. It's just technology is like what runs us now. Example #2 is tablets. And these are a little bit less common. Not as many people have tablets, but they are a rapidly increasing product. And today, well, there was a survey taken in 2012 in April, and 34% of Americans had tablets, and 76% had PCs. So yes, this is still quite a difference, but 2 years earlier in 2010, there was only 3% of America with tablets. So it might not seem like a lot, but it's a little bit over a 30% difference in 2 years with the amount of people that have tablets, and it's just continuously growing. The third example is wireless internet. And a long time ago when they invented internet, they could have never even imagined that one day we wouldn't have to have cords for it, and, well, we do. So now, as of April 2012, 61% of households in America have wireless internet. And this is so much easier for us to move around, and we can now travel around our house and just still be connected to the internet, still know what's going on, up to date on all of our sources and everything. And there's no cords everywhere. You're not like tripping on cords. You're not plugging it in here and then like moving and plugging it in. We can just walk around. There's no cords, and it's just all right there on us. So yeah, that's everything.